Hello everyone, welcome to the third episode of the series Learn Your Tactics with the Fantasy Master. I am Chekas, and in today's video we will take a look at another two tactical ideas, double checks and skewers. Starting with double check, which is one if not the strongest of the tactics due to the fact that it's one of the most forcing moves, because when two pieces are giving check, you have to move the king. You cannot block a double check or capture both pieces at the same time. On this position, white is two exchanges down, but fortunately it has a very strong move. Knight b5 check is a double check with the knight and the bishop. Only move for black is king a8, and then knight c7 is checkmate. Note that knight e6 check is not correct, because black can play b6. This is why a double check is so strong, because black doesn't have too many options to play. On this position we can see that there is a double check with knight d6, but it led to nothing, unless white first makes the move bishop e4 check. Attraction to the queen to the square we want. Spoiler alert, this is another tactic for a future video. After queen takes e4, now knight d6 check wins the queen. Notice that knight c3 check doesn't work, because the queen will capture the rook and maintain the advantage in material. On this position, the black king is in clear danger. White starts his attack with knight g6 check, apparently just giving the bishop, but after king takes h7, it comes knight takes f8 check, which is a double check. So after king g8, queen h7 checkmate. As you can see, double checks are a really powerful resource, and it is time for practice. Some tips to remember to find the double check exercises. Number 1. Move your pieces powerfully if it's going to make a double check, because your opponent won't be able to capture them. They will be able to only move the king. Number 2. Since the king has to move, look for checkmates that are not common because of the location of your pieces. In other words, let your imagination fly. You know how this works. You have 5 seconds to pause the video. Why to move? Knight h5 check, king h7, and queen g7 checkmate. Knight e8 check also works. Note that after knight h5 check, the white queen and the knight are both being attacked, but black cannot take any of the pieces because it's a double check. Why to move? Black is threatening mate in 1, but white has a sequence of moves that involves a double check. Queen d8 check, an idea that we will see in many games to come. After king takes d8, bishop a5 check is double check. So after king c8 or king e8, rook d8 checkmate. The next tactical motif is skewers, and the idea of skewers is to take advantage of line-up pieces to win material, almost the reverse of a pin. Most of the times you attack the king and behind it there is the actual piece you want to take. Skewers are also known as x-rays. Let's check a straightforward example. Here is white to move, and the move rook h7 check is a skewer, because now the king has to move, but the real purpose of the move is revealed now. After rook takes b7, white wins material and the game. The next example is a bit more difficult. White wants to promote his pawn, but right now is pinned by the queen on d4. The next move may surprise some of you, but trust me when I tell you that the correct move here is Queen G1 check, double attack. The only problem is that the white queen is undefended. Actually, that's not a real problem here, because after the forcing queen takes G1, otherwise the black queen will be captured, G8 equals queen check is a skewer. After the king moves, queen takes G1 and white wins. In this last example, it's now black to play, and they play powerfully realizing that rook A1 will be a skewer if it wasn't for the queen on d4 protecting the square. The right move is queen takes a7 check, and after the forcing queen takes a7, now it comes rook a1 check, winning the queen. Time for practice. Try to find the skewers in these positions with the help of the following tips. Number 1. Look for pieces that are lined up. Number 2. The pieces that can do skewers are bishops, rooks, and queens, and sometimes a pawn that is about to promote to a queen. Here is the first exercise. White to move. Queen c4 check, a double attack to the king and the queen, and after queen takes c4, g8 equals queen check, recaptures the queen and wins the game. Now it's black to move. The king and the rook are lined up in the second line, and the correct move is bishop takes c4, b takes c4, giving the rook access to the b2 square with the skewer and winning the white rook. Good job! It's time for the real challenge. 2 more exercises to finish, and the only clue that I will give you is that you're trying to find one of the tactics you have learned so far from the series. Remember the tips we have given you so far, and let's jump to the exercises. Congratulations if you found Queen G7 check, a very strong move that forces black to take the queen. King takes G7, and now the double check with Knight F5 check. King G8, and now not takes Knight G3, but Knight H6 checkmate. White to move. Knight A4 check is a double attack. Of course, the A4 square is defended by the pawn, but after b takes A4, rook B8 check is a skewer that wins the queen and the game. Great job! Well done everyone! Now you know 6 tactics to use in your games. Keep practicing and you will improve very fast. That's all for today's video. Thank you for watching and I see you in the next video.